I believe in creating strong teams. No project can succeed without a really integrated team. So I love bringing together smart, independent, motivated people and giving them huge challenges that stretch them to the fullest. And now I can testify that there's nothing that a group like this cannot accomplish. In an effort like this, what we need most is a sense of ownership.
The way Prochi creates teams, and I'm part of another team led by her as well, is that while different people are obviously delegated different things to do, we're all responsible for this whole thing together.
I have worked with Prochi for almost 22 years. I can testify to that.
This project was a tiny miracle. Here was different people, all reporting into different bosses, different departments, but coming together to work on a project where there are no clear lines, where my responsibilities end and someone else just merges into that, and somehow it still worked.
Every win is everyone's win, and every failure is everyone's failure.
There's enough space, time, and platform given to me to express my opinion.
Prochi's personality and leadership style, the respect she commands, all of that made being part of this team an absolute pleasure.
It wasn't required for a person of her stature to make our lives easier, and she would do it all the time. That has cascaded into other team members of the group. We never put our ego or designation into the work.
Synergy begins with understanding everyone's objectives. Prochi wanted to document our history, Jai wanted Mahindra supporting culture and the arts, the brand team wanted to build brand Mahindra, and everyone's objectives were achieved.
We came together to find a way, and what a way that was.
Years ago I saw a film which showed a cowboy trying to herd cats. Well, this project was a little bit like herding cats. These were people with their own strong opinions and ideas, and sometimes I was really afraid they might land up killing each other.
This one day, I was trying to explain to my family, what my role is with this museum, what I'm doing. I think I talked for quite a while. And I kept explaining and telling them about all these different things we're doing. Different people, different roles, objects, artists, in all of its complexity. And at the end of it, I pause and they're kind of like looking at each other. And then one of them asks me, wait, so how haven't you all killed each other yet?
No, we do have our share of fights and venting sessions. After all, we are just human.
But then, and please don't quote me on this, there's a lot of affection.
And everyone brings their own strengths to the table.
Ronan is the agony aunt, so he has friends all over the organization. He's extroverted, creative, practical. He's exactly what we needed. I would call him the Chief Instigation Officer.
He would push me to get more involved. But if I had too much on my plate, he would offer to take things up. He's very helpful.
He was my go-to person for literally anything to do with the project.
Everybody is friends with Himani, including the artists with whom she had to play bad cop. She was just one of those people who was universally liked.
She has this peacemaker energy. She's always the trusted, neutral party in any situation.
My goal was just to be the enthusiastic person in the team.
I actually would call her the Chief Enthusiasm Officer.
Jay is a project manager and a very hands-on person. He is a one-man army. He simplifies things. He is a declogger.
This is a person who punches above his weight class. When anything is needed from the bigwigs, it's Jai who's going to make it happen. He's also the person we call when us creative types have gone into a spin and we don't know when to stop. He's the guy who says, enough, we're already there. Difficult conversations, he's the go-to guy.
I would call Jai the heavyweight champion, or maybe the straight shooter.
Shruti is incredibly smart. She has this instinctive grasp on things. She just gets it.
Shruti doesn't have any direct experience of creating a museum. She came in late into the project. She didn't have all the context. However, she was the one who ended up saving us from some very costly mistakes just by asking the right questions at the right time.
Shruti has a very analytical mind, an eye for detail, and a very diplomatic approach in communicating her ideas.
She is very smart. We call her Finance Minister. That's the name in the group because she's the budget keeper. She gets deep into the problem and tries to get to the root of that. She has the lens that magnifies issues and spots missing links. She has a great eye for that.
Prochi's passion is very infectious. She's the first to apologize, particularly when she's been a little bit harsh. She's completely hands-on, and in fact, she's quasi-written many of the history films because she's the one with friends in the company who's been around long enough, and she always leads from the front.
No job is too small, and that attitude has translated into the team. She has set the culture, very clued in, always knows when someone is upset or feeling left out.
She's definitely the cat herder, keeping the bunch of us aimed in the same direction. Definitely the cat herder.
And then we have Florette. She's been in Mahindra for the longest time, and she basically makes everything happen. From juggling everyone's calendar to setting up meetings, to coordination, to organization, documentation. She coordinated so many different things, and she made it look very effortless. To my mind, she's magic. She is the Mahindra's magician.
Harsh has become the Mahindra Group's honorary historian.
Harsh was an outside Mahindra person, and getting so much knowledge and understanding of the group is just commendable. The group is very complex. I mean, it's a legacy of 75 years. The way he has been able to filter and churn out those stories, I rarely find people able to understand the Mahindra Group so well.
He's the architect, but he looks at everything. Very high ownership, very cerebral, at the same time very at home, figuring things out on the ground. A very tactile way of doing things.
Harsh is at the top of his game. He's done some really great projects, and I'm really thrilled he's part of our team. He complements Elsie's design sensibilities perfectly.
Elsie is what taste is. Very determined will. She knows what she's doing. She has goodwill from a whole bunch of artists. Very well respected, very well known in the field. There's just implicit trust in her work.
You look at the museum today, and all you can say is that this is the work of an alchemist. So Elsie, the alchemist.
Think of all the ideas that everyone came up with. All these holes in the ceiling, the curved walls, the zones of heat and cold and color temperature and whatnot. And then squarely place all those requirements on the shoulders of Sandesh and his team.
That poor man. We asked so much of him.
And he and his team always had a way to make things happen. There were times when things couldn't be done, but by and large, Sandesh and his team only enriched our ideas and made them better, while also making them more feasible.
And so we named Sandesh the voice of reason.
This was the last position to be filled. We needed someone who would be the boots on the ground and would be the single point of contact for the museum going forward. And Shobha's done a wonderful job.
We were all on the lookout for someone who would be excited by the project and would bring to it the same energy we had so far.
When Shubha's name came up, there was literally a collective shout of yes in the room. It's almost as if it all clicked in our heads at the same time.
She really is the perfect person for the job. She goes out of her way, and we never anticipated how quickly she would pick up everything.
The IT team were brought into the project late, and really they were asked to deliver the sun and the moon and at a budget that was completely out of date. And of course, we wanted everything yesterday.
But honestly, what a wonderful attitude. No matter what we asked of Vijay, Prakash and Mandar, they would literally find a way to make it happen. No one backed down. No one ever said, you know what, this isn't my specialization. No one said that.
This is a living history museum, which means we are designing for the future. There's a lot of really futuristic things in here.
And they rose to the challenge. Always a step ahead, always prepared, always full of ideas and wisdom.
I would call them the three wise men of the museum. And I think they got a lot out of it as well. Vijay told me,
Look, I am IT person, always left-brain oriented. But now, it seems, with this project, I have become right-brain oriented now. This is a legacy project for me, which I think my name will be always associated for a longer period for this project.
I can't tell you how good it feels to hear that.
For us, the entire team is one. It's an aggregate, a conglomerate. I don't see one person different from the other. To me, I see them all as one.
They were very supportive. They helped us in every way possible. Prochi especially was very open and appreciative. They all supported our vision. I cannot say anyone is separate from another. To me, we are all like one big team.
They all constantly exceed expectations.
We are all responsible for the whole project, not just our little silos. It makes me so proud to see what we've achieved here.
So we all end up doing more than we say we will. It's delightful when you ask for help. Life is so easy. You say 20% and they get the rest of the 80% done.
It's all about a very strong shared intention, really. When we as a group make up our minds to do something, we find ways to make it happen. Everyone here is talented, smart, and everyone was going full steam ahead. But it all worked, it all came together because of the shared intention of making the museum happen.
You look at us as a group and you'll see dinosaurs and millennials. Different skill sets, different preferences, different ways of thinking and doing.
Everyone is neck deep in it. We all share the same dream. We share the passion.
To see the museum made tangible after all this time and effort is true joy.
If we could do this whole thing over, I would pick the exact same team.
As a freshly minted parent, I have to tell you, a project this size, with this much at stake, with this vision, during a pandemic, it felt like I had two babies. One museum baby and one baby baby.
See what I mean about ownership? By the way, can you guys please give me all these recordings for the archives?
I was just about to ask the same thing.